Kobe and Shaq were a dynamic duo who won 3 championships in a row. They dominated the competition, but in 2004, the Lakers star duo met their match and their end in the finals when they faced the Detroit Pistons. The conversation around the 2004 finals is always about how Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, and Gary Payton failed to win a ring together, how Kobe and Shaq split up after all of their issues, and how Phil Jackson lost his first finals as a head coach and left the Lakers after that season. The Lakers may have collapsed, but the Detroit Pistons deserve a lot of credit for taking down an all-time duo and coach in just 5 games. The Pistons' defense was one of the all-time best, led by the eventual 4-time Defensive Player of the Year Ben Wallace, 4-time All-Defensive Wing Tayshaun Prince, 2-time All-Defensive Guard Chauncey Billups, 4-time All-Star Rasheed Wallace, and 3-time All-Star Richard Hamilton. The Pistons' defense was stifling in the regular season. They held teams to 93.9 points per 100 possessions, the number 2 defensive rating in the NBA behind the Spurs. But the Pistons' defensive rating in the half-court was 76.8, which was the best in the league. They held their opponents under 70 points 11 times, the most in the league. So how did they hold Kobe and Shaq down in the 2004 finals? Shaq's numbers were already way down during this year. In the regular season, his points per game dropped to 21.5, down from 27.5 the season before, while he took 4 less shots per game. And in the first 3 rounds of the 2004 playoffs, he even averaged less points and less shots than in the regular season, 20 points per game and only 13 shots. But in the finals, his numbers all ticked up, 26.6 points per game on almost 17 shots. The Diesel stepped up when the Lakers needed him, but these were not the finals numbers we were used to seeing from Shaq. During the 3 finals series during the three-peat, Shaq averaged 35.8 points per game. The Pistons' tactics against Shaq were fairly simple. Try not to let him get the ball, but when he does send another defender at him, make him uncomfortable. Of course, they sent a lot of double teams to Shaq. Some of them were meant to just deny him the ball if they could afford it. But sometimes they waited until he got the ball to send another defender and try to get him stuck with the ball either over his head or in the triple threat position, which made it hard for him to get anything going, or wait for him to get moving before sending a full-on double team. The Pistons were able to double off of Karl Malone a lot during this series. Malone was a 2-time MVP and 14-time All-NBA player, but in 2004, he was 40 years old and in his last year. He had played every game of his career with the Jazz before joining the Lakers to try and win a ring. The Lakers were 18-3 to start the season and looked dominant before Malone sprained his knee and missed all of January, February, and March. Then he re-aggravated his knee and missed Game 5 of the finals, which some claimed was the reason the Lakers lost the finals, including Gary Payton, who said, "The big reason was Karl Malone got hurt. We were 18-3 and everybody was talking about we were going to get the Bulls record and stuff like that. But then people don't get it. We had a kid, Kobe Bryant. He was a kid. He had just gotten in trouble. He had a mindset of, I think I'm going to jail. I don't know what's going to happen." He was going back and forth to Denver. We didn't have him a lot. Then, all of a sudden, Shaq and the organization were having problems. Yeah, the Lakers had some issues, but one of their problems on the court was that the Pistons didn't have to guard Malone farther than about 15-16 feet from the rim, so Rasheed Wallace or Eldon Campbell or Corliss Williamson didn't have to face guard him through plays and sneak over to show a double team on Shaq. The Pistons would also send delayed help to stop Shaq when he got the ball in the post. Even though they had a Defensive Player of the Year at center, the Pistons didn't always have Ben Wallace guarding Shaq one-on-one. Wallace was a presence, but he was only listed at 6'9", but some think he was closer to 6'7", so Shaq towered over him. If Detroit had a big body in the game to be physical with Shaq, then Wallace could be a dangerous help defender, and proved that in this series. The delayed help didn't have to be a full-on double team either. Sometimes the Pistons just sent Rip Hamilton or another wing to swipe at the ball and disrupt Shaq's move to the basket. Or the help could just be early rebound help. These Pistons defenders aren't fully committing, but they do leave their man when it looks like Shaq is about to try to attack the rim. Another example of how the Lakers' lack of shooting hurt them. The Pistons did a decent job on Shaq, even though his numbers were better than they were in the regular season, but it was Kobe Bryant who struggled a little more. 25-year-old Kobe led the Lakers in scoring in the regular season, even though he took 5 less shots per game than the season before. Then in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, his scoring rose to 25.1 points per game, which would have led the playoffs among players who played in more than 5 games. But in the finals, he took 2 more shots per game, averaged 3 less points per game, and he only shot 38.1% from the field, one of the worst shooting percentages in finals history. Only 3 times since 1959 has a player taken more than 22 shots per game and made under 38.2% of them. Jerry West won his only finals in 1972, shooting 32.5%, and Patrick Ewing lost in the 1994 finals, shooting 36.3%. The Pistons didn't double Kobe as much as they did against Shaq, but when they did, they tried to pin him against the sideline or baseline, or just force him to give up the ball, and then they had to rotate quickly.
Bryant doubled in the corner, has it taken away.
When Detroit did double him, they mostly did it off of a screen to try to prevent Kobe from getting into the lane or getting off a clean shot.
And all the way out is a great point. Look where the Lakers are starting their offense. And this is what's been happening all evening long. The Detroit Pistons have decided they're going to employ the Kobe rules. They are not going to let him have a free shot.
The Pistons could also mostly ignore the Lakers' rollers when Kobe came off a screen. Neither Malone or Shaq were going to take long jumpers, so if they didn't roll hard to the basket and just hung around the three-point line, there was no point for the Pistons defenders to stick around, and instead, they double Kobe. Just like with Shaq, the Pistons also sent delayed help to try to stop Kobe too. Kobe loved to try to break down defenders with a jab step or a drive into a pull-up jumper, so the Pistons just had to wait until he started to make his move, and then send another defender at just the right time to make him rush a shot. Online Kobe isn't known for passing, but in the first 3 rounds of these playoffs, he averaged 5.8 per game. But if the Pistons could make him pass by sending delayed help, that was a win for them, especially if they could make him rush a pass or force it.
9-point Piston lead. Bryant. Prince on him. Doing a heck of a job on him.
The Pistons' defense was one of the best we've ever seen. They were very connected, and sometimes their delayed help on Kobe was just good help defense that stepped over just at the right time. This was yet another example of how the Lakers' lack of three-point shooting hurt them in this matchup, and how this era of basketball was different 20 years ago. The Pistons left a lot of shooters all alone at the three-point line, but Kobe wasn't looking to make those passes. When the Pistons didn't double or send help, they trusted Tayshaun Prince to guard Kobe on an island. When Kobe had the ball, there wasn't much movement on offense, and Tayshaun Prince was kind of built to guard Kobe.
Tayshaun Prince back for Detroit. Here's Bryant. Kobe comes up short again.
Prince was 23 years old, in just his second season in the NBA, but at 6 foot 9 inches tall, with a 7 foot 2 inch wingspan and quick feet, Prince could stay in front of Bryant when he really locked in. Prince forced Kobe to take a bunch of contested jumpers.
Bryant, pressured by Prince, shoots over him.
Prince once said in an interview that, with Kobe, you had to make sure that he couldn't get to his sweet spots because there was a rhythm thing. Everything the Pistons did was to try to take Kobe out of that rhythm. Looking back at some of these shots, it's kind of incredible that Kobe could get off clean looks on these.
Again, and Bryant gets pushed. Bryant guarded by Prince. Shoots over him. Doesn't stop.
Prince rarely bid on pump fakes, and Kobe only took 5 free throws per game in the finals compared to 8.3 in the first 3 rounds of the playoffs and regular season. When Tayshaun wasn't in the game or wasn't guarding Kobe, the Pistons guard, defenders tried really hard to deny Kobe from getting the ball.
I'll tell you, the Lakers have a great matchup on the other end with Kobe Bryant.
To try to get Kobe open and on the move more, the Lakers set a lot of screens for him both with and without the ball. This is where Tayshaun Prince's length was really tested. If Detroit wasn't going to switch, then he had to play catch-up and try to get a hand in Kobe's face to contest his shot.
Kobe Bryant wasn't giving that up. There were 2 guys guarding him, another guy spying on him, and he still gets to the bucket.
Bryant. To Bryant. Bryant with Hunter on him, and now Prince picks him up. Shaquille back to Kobe after he sets the screen. George comes in and can't save it from going out of bounds.
The Pistons did switch a few times, but only when they had a guard or Tayshaun Prince to pick him up on the other side. The Pistons had several great individual defenders, but the way they were able to communicate and rotate into Kobe or Shaq's vision to contest shots at the rim is what really limited the Lakers' ability to score in this series. The Pistons' rotations were on point in this series. They made the Lakers double think a lot and forced Kobe into 18 turnovers and Shaq 14 in 5 games.
Looking around. Kobe all the way, has it stripped in the lane.
When Kobe had the ball, every player on the floor was a live defender. No one got possessions off when he was starting to make his move. The Pistons had to slide over and help or double or send delayed help, but one of the main jobs of Kobe's initial defender was to funnel him into help defenders. Hopefully he'd force a bad shot or get stuck, but the Pistons made a point to always meet him with someone on the move and ignore the other players in passing lanes.
Malone, well, he's going to pass that shot up again. Now Bryant. Bryant gets it back. Off balance.
Look at the traffic.
Campbell couldn't get it in with the left hand, and the Lakers come back down. And Bryant had nobody to hand it off to, and now he can't pick it up again.
When the Lakers did move the ball, the Pistons made sure that no one was left open for long. They had to be quick and know who they needed to replace as they chased the ball around, but once a Lakers player got the ball, they weren't alone for long. The Lakers' spacing was a real issue. The Pistons were able to just send a second defender to hover near Kobe and Shaq in order to cut off clear driving lanes or one-on-one opportunities. The Pistons beat the Lakers in 5 games, holding Kobe and Shaq to some of their lowest numbers in the finals ever. A truly elite defense that came together at the right time to get it done.